Gilgamesh and Enkidu stood on top of Uruk's city wall. They were watching a corpse float by in the river below. Gilgamesh spoke. No man can reach as high as the sky or as wide as the earth, and no man can live beyond the days of his life. But I, my friend, will make my name famous everywhere forever. How, my friend? I will do a deed never done before. What will you do? I will go to the forest mountain, said Gilgamesh, chop down a magnificent tree, and bring back sweet-scented timber for the city of Uruk. Gilgamesh, said Enkidu, this is a deed which must not be done. Why not, my friend? The forest mountain is the home of Humbaba. I will confront and maybe kill Humbaba, said Gilgamesh. You don't know Humbaba, my friend, said Enkidu. I do. When I roamed in the wide open country with gazelles, I went to the forest mountain. It is huge, it is dark, it goes on for 60 leagues. No one ever ventures into the forest. If you take one step among its trees, Humbaba hears you rustle wherever you are, and however quiet you are. His bellow is as loud as a raging, roaring flood. His speech sparks flames of fire. His breath is the breath of death. A fight with Humbaba is unwinnable. Enkidu, my friend, said Gilgamesh, I will climb the slope of the forest mountain and chop down a magnificent tree. When it falls, there will be a whirlwind. My friend, said Enkidu, Humbaba is second only to the storm dingir Adad in his ferocity. He guards the forest mountain for the almighty dingir Enlil. He has 7 auras of awesomeness. If you so much as put your foot on the forest floor, you will be crippled. Humbaba is not to be confronted. This is a deed which must not be done. This is a journey which must not begin. My friend, said Gilgamesh, why are you speaking like a weakling? Only dingirs live forever in the sky with Shamash. A man's life is limited, and whatever he achieves is no more than a puff of wind. But you and I together, Enkidu, will do a deed never done before. Are you afraid of being killed? Where's your bravery? I will go ahead. You can follow me saying, be brave. Even if I fall, my name will be famous everywhere forever as Gilgamesh, the king who confronted Humbaba. You, Enkidu, were born in the wide open country. You have overpowered lions. Don't disappoint me now. First we will go to the forge. We will have new daggers and axes, the biggest and the best.
Gilgamesh and Enkidu went to the forge and spoke with the men who made daggers and axes. Blades of 3 talents each for the axes, said Gilgamesh. Blades of 2 talents each for the daggers. Half a talent of gold each to decorate the handles of the daggers. We will have the biggest and the best. Then Gilgamesh summoned an assembly in the city square. He sat on his throne with Enkidu nearby and addressed the assembly. Elders of Uruk, I am going on a journey to the forest mountain. It is the home of ferocious Humbaba, whose name is famous throughout the land. In the forest mountain, I will chop down a magnificent tree, and when it falls, there will be a whirlwind. I will bring back sweet-scented timber, and my name will be famous everywhere forever as a fine son of Uruk. Young men of Uruk, you who like a fight, I am going on a journey to confront and maybe kill Humbaba. I need your blessing for this journey, so I will return home safely, walk through Uruk's main gate, and see your faces again. What celebrations there will be when I return. We will have not 1, but 2 New Year festivals. The drumming will start, and in soon we'll be glad. Then Enkidu addressed the assembly. People of Uruk, I urge you to stop Gilgamesh going to the forest mountain. This is a journey which must not begin. This is a deed which must not be done. Humbaba is not to be confronted. His shout is as loud as a raging, roaring flood. His speech sparks flames of fire. His breath is a breath of death. His forest goes on for 60 leagues, and no one ever ventures among its trees. In ferocity, Humbaba is second only to the storm Dingir, Adad. Even Dingirs don't challenge him. He was placed in the forest by the almighty Dingir, Enlil, to guard it with his 7 oars of awesomeness. Whoever puts his foot on the forest floor becomes a cripple. One by one, the people in the assembly spoke. Gilgamesh, your youthful bravery makes you reckless. Said another, the deed you would do, you don't understand. And another said, Humbaba's elbow is as loud as a raging, roaring flood. His speech sparks the flames of fire, said another. His breath is the breath of death, said another one. His forest goes on for 60 leagues. If you take just one step among its trees, Humbaba hears you rustle. He hears you wherever you are and however quiet you are. In ferocity, Humbaba is second only to the storm Dingir Adad, said one. Even Dingirs don't challenge Humbaba. The almighty Dingir Enlil placed Humbaba in the forest mountain to guard it with his 7 oars of awesomeness. Gilgamesh smiled at Enkidu. I am not afraid of being killed, he told the assembly. The leader of the young men spoke. Gilgamesh, we want you to return safely to Uruk. We want to see our smiling king walk through Uruk's main gate. Look long and hard before you strike a blow. Don't depend on your own strength alone. The one who goes ahead saves the other. The one who knows the way saves the other. Let Enkidu go ahead. Let him guide you. He knows the journey to the forest mountain. He is tried and tested in a fight. He will save you many times and bring you home to Uruk. The leader of the elders spoke. Enkidu, the assembly of Uruk will put our king into your hands. We urge you to bring him home safely and hand him back to us for his wives. Enkidu said nothing. Gilgamesh spoke. My friend, we will go to the sublime house of the wild cow Dingir, Ninsun. My mother is a great, wise queen. She knows much and can assist us. I will seek her blessing for our journey.
Gilgamesh took Enkidu by the hand, and they went to Dingir Ninsun. Gracious Ninsun, said Gilgamesh, I will do a deed never done before. I will boldly begin a noble journey to the forest mountain. I will confront and maybe kill Humbaba. In the forest mountain I will chop down a magnificent tree. When it falls there will be a whirlwind. I will bring back sweet-scented timber for the city of Uruk, and my name will be famous everywhere forever, as a fine son of Uruk. I need your blessing for this journey, so I will return home safely, walk through Uruk's main gate, and see your face again. What celebrations there will be when I return! We will have not one but 2 New Year festivals. The drumming will start and you will be glad. Dingir Ninsun listened to her son carefully, then went to her private chamber. She bathed 7 times in water sprinkled with juniper juice and petals from the soapwort flower. She dressed in a fitting gown, fixed with a splendid pin, and put on her crown. She walked up to her roof and lit incense. Its scented smoke arose. The pungent aroma drifted wispily up towards the sky. Nin soon raised her hands and reached out to Dingir Shamash. "Oh, Shamash, my son who is so bullish will go far away and explore the distant unknown. He will go to the forest mountain, home of fierce Humbaba. He will confront, challenge, fight and kill Humbaba. He may not return. As Gilgamesh journeys, please protect him. Until he has killed evil Humbaba, whom you hate, gaze upon him daily, all day. At twilight, may your bride, Lady Ea, remind you to entrust Gilgamesh to the nighttime stars. Your ruddy glow, Shamash, Dingir of the sun, lights, shapes, and moves all. While Gilgamesh journeys to the forest mountain, let the days be long and the nights be short. Let his stride be strong and his limbs be taut. Let him sleep well nightly as stars shine brightly, thanks to your bride, Lady Aya. When Gilgamesh finds Humbaba, please, Shamash, release 13 winds to assist him. North wind, south wind, east wind, west wind, typhoons, tempests, hurricanes, gales. Let them blow terrifying confusion to cripple and craze Humbaba. Then Gilgamesh can strike with his weapons. Once this outburst of yours, Shamash, has assisted Gilgamesh, fleet-footed mules will take you to relax and revive with fellow Dingirs. They will serve you Dingir food, and your brow will be bathed by your bride, Lady Aya, with the fringe of her spotless white gown. Oh, Dingir Shamash, will my son Gilgamesh not one day sit among Dingirs? Will he not one day be with you in the sky? Will he not one day wear his crown and carry his scepter like Dingir Nanaswen? Will he not one day become wise with the words of Dingir Ea? Will he not one day dwell as a king in the world below? Only if he comes home safely from the forest mountain. Let it be so, Shamash, I implore you. Nin soon extinguished the incense and walked down from her roof. She summoned Gilgamesh and Enkidu, then solemnly spoke these words. Enkidu, you came not from my womb into this world, but as the women in the house of Ishtar adopt the foundling, so I adopt you as my son. Onto Enkidu's tunic, Nin soon fixed a splendid pin. For your journey to the forest mountain, may the days be long and the nights be short. May your strides be strong and your limbs be taut. Make a camp every night to sleep deeply. Stop after 20 leagues to eat bread. Refill your water skin wherever you can. Enkidu, will you guard Gilgamesh well on the journey to the forest mountain and back to the city of Uruk? I will, said Enkidu.
The day of departure dawned. Our journey begins today, said Gilgamesh. This is a journey which must not begin, said Enkidu. I can't show my bravery if I stay at home with you in Uruk. Take up your new dagger and axe, Enkidu. Take up your quiver and bow. We go now. Enkidu raised his hands and reached out to Dingir Shamash for his blessing. Gilgamesh reached out to his very own Dingir, Lugalbanda. At the open main gate in Uruk's city wall, Gilgamesh spoke to the leader of the elders. I will be gone for many days, journeying to the forest mountains, finding ferocious Humbaba, and killing that creature hated by Shamash. While I'm away, you must protect the poor and the weak, prevent the young men massing in the streets, and make sure the judges sit to settle disputes. The leader of the elders spoke to Enkidu. Enkidu, the assembly of Uruk now puts Gilgamesh into your hands. We need him to return safely and be handed back to us. Gilgamesh is our king. All the young men spoke to Gilgamesh at once. We want to see you return through this gate. Look long and hard before you strike a blow. Don't depend on your own strength alone. The one who goes ahead saves the other. The one who knows the way saves the other. Let Enkidu go ahead and guide you. He knows the journey to the forest mountain. He is tried and tested in fighting. He will save you many times. He will bring you safely back to Uruk for your wives. Enkidu spoke to Gilgamesh. My friend, to begin this journey, you must send these young men home and follow me. I have journeyed to the edge of the forest mountain and know the power of Humbaba. Gilgamesh and Enkidu walked out through Uruk's main gate. May Dingir Shamash assist you in your success, shouted the young men. May Dingir Shamash be with you.
On their journey to the forest mountain, Gilgamesh and Enkidu travelled 20 leagues each day before they stopped to eat. They travelled another 30 leagues before they camped for the night. Travelling 50 leagues each day, they covered in 3 days the distance of a 6-week journey. At the end of every day, as the sun Dingir Shamash sank out of sight, Gilgamesh and Enkidu dug a well and refilled their empty water skins. Gilgamesh climbed to find a place where he could sprinkle flour as a gift and ask the mountain for a dream. Enkidu made a shelter and inside it sprinkled a circle of flour. Gilgamesh entered the shelter, lay on the ground inside the circle, and was soon deeply asleep. Enkidu lay on the ground at the shelter's entrance like a dropped net. Gusts of dust blew by outside. 5 times during the journey, Gilgamesh awoke in the middle of the night and cried out, "Enkidu, what's happening? Did you touch me? Why do I feel so strange? Was a Dingir nearby? I had an ominous dream." He sat with his chin on his knees and told his dream to Enkidu. "We were travelling together and looked up at a huge mountain looming above us. It began falling, and we were like 2 flies in a swamp." "Oh, this is a good dream," said Enkidu. "The mountain is Humbaba, and we will cast him down like a corpse on a battlefield." That night ended, and Shamash brought Gilgamesh and Enkidu a second day for their journey. In his second dream, Gilgamesh was knocked to the ground by the falling mountain, and his feet were trapped beneath it. "An extremely handsome young man appeared," he told Enkidu. "In a blaze of ever-brightening light, he grabbed me by my arms, pulled me out of the mountain rocks, and gave me water to drink from his water skin. When I was calm, he stood me on my feet." "Oh, this is a good dream," said Enkidu. "It means Humbaba can knock you down, but he can't kill you. The handsome young man in a blaze of brightening light is Shamash, who will save you." That night ended, and Shamash brought Gilgamesh and Enkidu a third day for their journey. In his third dream, Gilgamesh heard the sky shriek and the earth groan. At first it was dark and silent, then lightning flashed and thunder cracked, fire broke out. Flames flickered, flared and roared, deadly blazing coals rained down when the fire stopped burning and the ground was strewn with hot embers. "Oh, this is a good dream," said Enkidu. "It shows our fury in the fight with Humbaba. We will be victorious." That night ended, and Shamash brought Gilgamesh and Enkidu a fourth day for their journey. In his fourth dream that night, Gilgamesh saw a big black cloud in the sky. From this cloud, the terrifying Anzu bird swooped towards him. It was hideous. It had the face of a lion and the talons of an eagle. It breathed out fire, and Gilgamesh felt the heat on his face. A young man standing beside him seized the Anzu bird by its wings and threw it to the ground. Then I put my foot on it, said Gilgamesh. Oh, this is a good dream, said Enkidu. It shows we will capture Humbaba and tie him up. The young man beside you in the dream is mighty Shamash. That night ended, and Shamash brought Gilgamesh and Enkidu a 5th day for their journey. That night, Gilgamesh's 5th and final dream on the journey to the forest mountain was more frightening than all 4 previous dreams. I dreamed, he told Enkidu, I dreamed I was holding the horns of a bellowing wild bull. It scraped and scarred the ground with its hoof, thrusting dark clouds of dust high into the sky. I was crouching in front of the bull, looking into its face. A man grabbed me from behind and pulled me away. He stroked my face and gave me water to drink from his water skin. Oh, this is a good dream, said Enkidu. The wild bull is not an enemy. It is our protector, Dingir Shamash. He will take our hands when we are in peril. The man who gave you water to drink is your father and your very own Dingir, Lugulbanda. This dream means we will do a deed never done before.
The forest mountain was not far away. It was bigger than all the mountains they had climbed so far on the journey. It loomed high above them, and they were like 2 flies in a swamp. The forest on the mountain was huge, dark, and went over 60 leagues. Gilgamesh raised his hands and reached out to Shamash with tears streaming down his face. Oh, Shamash, please assist me to be a fine son of Uruk. He felt the heat from the sun and heard the voice of Shamash. Go now, Gilgamesh. Attack Humbaba when he has only one of his 7 auras of awesomeness. Reach him before he goes to his secret place in the forest where he has all 7 of his auras. Let's go, said Gilgamesh. They charged like wild bulls towards the forest mountain. Let's go back, said Enkidu as they ran. This is a deed which must not be done. Humbaba is second only to the storm Dingir, Adad, in ferocity. Let's go on. Why are you speaking like a weakling? We have nearly completed our journey. Let's reach the 7th mountain, said Gilgamesh. You can go on, said Enkidu, but I must go back to the city. When I tell your mother you're alive, she'll be glad. And if I then tell her you're dead, she'll weep bitterly. Let's go on, said Gilgamesh. Let's look for Humbaba. Dingir, Humbaba's look is the look of death, said Enkidu. If he shakes his head at you, you'll never go back to your city. Let's go on. Don't disappoint me now, said Gilgamesh. From within the forest came Humbaba's terrifying bellow, like a loud boom of thunder and a raging, roaring flood. Enkidu stopped. I can't go on. My legs won't move. My arms won't hold my axe. Gilgamesh took Enkidu's hand. You were tried and tested in fighting, Enkidu. You know how to look long and hard before you strike a blow. You know the one who goes ahead saves the other. You and I together, Enkidu, will do a deed never done before, and our names will be famous forever. They came to the edge of the forest and gazed up at the leafy branches of the trees, so many, so thick and so high above. On the forest floor, they saw the well-trodden path among the trees made by Humbaba when he climbed the slope of the forest mountain. This was a Dingir place. Its coolness and shade were alluring, and there was an abundance of sweet-scented timber. The leafy branches of the treetops rustled. Then Gilgamesh and Enkidu heard the voice of Humbaba speaking to them. Here they are, the clever pair, Gilgamesh and the wild man. You, Enkidu, you small fry with no father, you squirt of tortoise spawn with no mother to offer you breast milk. I saw you often when you lived in the wide open country. I didn't kill and eat you then because you are too tiny a morsel to please my belly. And now, you treacherous wretch, you bring Gilgamesh to my forest and stand before me like a foreign foe. I can bite through Gilgamesh's windpipe, Enkidu. I can pull off his head and leave his headless dead body in a tree as a feast for the vultures and lions living in my forest. Humbaba's voice faded. The rustling in the trees ceased, and there was total silence. Gilgamesh could not move. His toenails gripped the forest floor. "Let's go back," he said. "Humbaba is not to be confronted." "Let's go on," said Enkidu. "Why are you speaking like a weakling? Don't disappoint me now. We've already delayed too long. It is time to pour the copper into the mold. It is time to strike. 2 strong cubs together can overpower a mighty lion." With their sharpened axes raised and the heavy daggers unsheathed, Gilgamesh and Enkidu entered the forest. They crept among the trees and boldly carried on until they came to the place where Humbaba had all his 7 auras of awesomeness. They heard a rustle in the treetops, and then again the voice of Humbaba speaking to them. "Oh, you, Gilgamesh, what a brave young man you are, you tall, strong sapling, you raging wild bull chosen by the Dingiers to be the king of Uruk. Your mother surely knew how to give birth to a son. Your wet nurse surely knew how to breastfeed. Oh, Gilgamesh, touch the earth with both your hands under the gaze of the sun Dingier Shamash." Gilgamesh touched the earth with both his hands, felt the hot touch of Shamash on his back, and spoke to Humbaba. "Would you like to be my kinsman, Humbaba? You can have my big sister as your wife, and my pretty little sister Peshtu as your concubine." "Yes, I would." "If you give up an aura, we'll be kinsmen." Humbaba gave up one of his 7 auras. "Would you like cool water in a water skin?" said Gilgamesh. "Yes, I would," said Humbaba. "If you give up an aura, we'll be kinsmen." Humbaba gave up another of his 7 auras. "Would you like flour fit for Dingiers?" said Gilgamesh. Humbaba answered, "Yes, I would." "If you give up an aura, we'll be kinsmen." Humbaba gave up the 3rd of his 7 auras. "Would you like 2 big shoes for your own 2 big feet?" "Yes, I would." "If you give up an aura, we'll be kinsmen." Humbaba gave up the 4th of his 7 auras. "Would you like 2 little shoes for your 2 little feet?" "Yes, I would," said Humbaba. "If you give up an aura, we'll be kinsmen." Humbaba gave up the 5th of his 7 auras. "Would you like this piece of lapis lazuli?" asked Gilgamesh. "Yes, I would," answered Humbaba. "If you give up an aura, we'll be kinsmen." Humbaba gave up the 6th of his 7 auras. He now had only 1 aura of awesomeness. Shamash released 13 winds to assist Gilgamesh. Winds from the north, winds from the south, winds from the east, winds from the west. All blew ferociously as typhoons, tempests, hurricanes, and gales. They created terrifying confusion to cripple and craze Humbaba. Mountains shook, white clouds became black, and Humbaba couldn't see through the swirling fog. He couldn't move forwards, he couldn't move backwards. When the whirlwind ceased and the fog disappeared, Gilgamesh saw Humbaba standing in front of him. He was small and crippled, with no aura of awesomeness. Gilgamesh stepped back as if to catch a snake. He leaned forward as if to kiss Humbaba, but instead punched him in the face. Humbaba scowled and showed his teeth. "You are a false hero," he growled. "Sit down," said Gilgamesh. "Sit down," said Enkidu. Humbaba sat on the forest floor and wept. Gilgamesh threw a rope over him as if he were a captured animal and tied his arms together at the elbows as a prisoner. Humbaba grabbed Gilgamesh's hand. "Let me go, please. I trusted you because you touched the earth with both your hands under the gaze of the sun Dingir Shamash. In the name of Shamash, who led you here over the mountains, please let me go. The Dingirs made me live in the forest mountain, all alone guarding it for them with my 7 auras of awesomeness. If you let me go, I will show you the finest trees in the forest, and you can take an abundance of sweet-scented timber to Uruk." From the bottom of his kingly heart, Gilgamesh pitied Humbaba. "Let the trap bird fly free," he said. "Let the prisoner run home to his mother. Let Humbaba become our porter and guide." Enkidu looked at Gilgamesh. "Oh, my friend, what a brave young man you are. You tall, strong sapling, you raging wild bull, chosen by the Dingirs to be king of Uruk. Your mother surely knew how to give birth to a son, and your wet nurse surely knew how to breastfeed you. But one so mighty, Gilgamesh, who is so trusting, will surely be devoured by destiny and never know what happened to him. Let the trap bird fly free. Let the prisoner run home to his mother. Let Humbaba become our porter and guide. We would never go back to our city." Humbaba looked at Enkidu. "How can you speak like that to Gilgamesh? He is the king of Uruk, and you run after him as his servant." Those words so angered Enkidu that he raised his dagger and thrust it deep into Humbaba's throat. Gilgamesh raised his axe. "Finish it," said Enkidu. "Finish it before Enlil stops it happening. Do a deed never done before, so our names will be famous forever." Gilgamesh whacked down his heavy axe and chopped off Humbaba's head. As he stuffed the severed head into a leather bag, Enkidu tore out Humbaba's bloody guts and threw them on the forest floor. Then they began hacking through the forest, searching for the finest trees. Enkidu found a tree which was very fine indeed. "With your strength, Gilgamesh, you brought down the forest guardian. Now you can bring down this very fine tree. Its leafy branches touching the sky will reach to the forest floor. It will become the sweet-scented timber of a great door in the Ekur. It will become a gift for the house of Dingir Enlil. The river Euphrates will carry the timber to Nippur. Enlil will like the door and will be pleased with you." Gilgamesh chopped down the very fine tree. Enkidu lopped off his branches. They tied logs together to make a raft and carried the sweet-scented timber along the river Euphrates towards the ancient city of Nippur. Enkidu propelled the raft, while Gilgamesh held the leather bag containing Humbaba's head. In Nippur, they entered the Ekur, the house of Enlil. They knelt and kissed the ground. Gilgamesh tipped Humbaba's head out of the leather bag as a gift for Dingir Enlil. The almighty Dingir looked at Humbaba's head and spoke. "Gilgamesh, did the Dingirs determine that Humbaba should be killed and his name be forgotten forever? No. You should have sat with Humbaba and shared your food and water with him. You should have honored Humbaba as the terrifying creature who lived in the forest mountain, guarding it for the Dingirs with his 7 auras of awesomeness." Dingir Enlil gathered together the 7 auras of awesomeness given up by Humbaba. The first aura he gave to the marshes. The second aura he gave to the mountains. The third aura he gave to the desert. The fourth aura he gave to the rivers. The 5th aura he gave to the lions. The 6th aura he gave to the palace. Humbaba's 7th aura of awesomeness, the almighty Dingir and Lil gave to the Dingir of prisoners.